Let me explain something really quick. Okay? One thing that I am learning is that no matter what happens, all things are working for my good. All things are working for my good. ALL things are working for my good. Okay? Doesn't matter what happens. We back. Like I said, all things are working for my good. I ain't worried about it. If anything, it gives me the opportunity to come back and to do it better than before. Because when you're a student of life, like the narrative of Christ demonstrated, you see the world differently. You understand that you are in this world with everybody, but you are not of this world, which is why there's so much fear-based ideology to where people have to resort to old ways in order to create something new. That doesn't work. You have to evolve. You have to grow. You have to cast your nets into the depths of God. And if you ain't ready to do that, then do what y'all have told queer people to do this entire time, which is to go back in the closet. Okay? So with that being said, let's do this one more time.
Look at his hair. Look at his hair. Did you see it? Oh, look at his glasses. What do we do with them? Oh, God, what do we do?
Well, you just let the wheat grow with the tear. And let him do the separating when he comes.
Feels good to be me.
Meow, 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 meow.
Where you been, boy?
Meow, 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 meow.
Up in the sycamore tree.
Meow, 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 meow.
Now where my Jesus freaks at? Jesus freak at.
Jesus freak out.
I guess I'm just a Jesus freak at.
Jesus freak out.
Uh-huh.
Meow, 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 meow.
Now watch me walk up on that water.
Meow, meow, meow.
Walking on top of what I used to drown in. When you see me, you see the Father. We be 3 in 1, I go read about it. Apostolic like Sister Betty. Lately I've been cutting up niggas like confetti. Cause he's coming back, I gotta get ready. And if they start to asking questions, tell them I'm a Jesus freak up.
Jesus freak out.
Uh-huh. Did you hear me stuttering? I'm a Jesus freak up.
Jesus freak out.
I'm a Jesus freak up.
Jesus freak out.
Just tell him I'm a Jesus freak up.
Jesus freak out.
Yeah. And when they see me walk up in the lobby, hear the rumors, I hear the gossip, bruh. If you gon' tell it, then go tell it right. Cause the tea I'm about to spill don't need no ice. So you can back it up, but you ain't my type. Cause I don't hang around with Antichrist. Accusers of the brethren. But undercover sinning again and again and again. Just like the rapture, they don't see it coming. I feel the love of Christ when I watch the Muppets. At least they ain't pretending they a puppet. You just pretend you hate it, but you love it. Jesus freak out.
Jesus freak out.
Yeah, you staring at a Jesus freak out.
Jesus freak out.
I ain't ashamed, I'm a Jesus freak out.
Jesus freak out.
And you ain't gotta ask around, I'm a Jesus freak out.
Jesus freak out.
What you Apostolic Simon Prophet stepping out the ice limbo. You can take a flick while I adjust my halo. Ooh, hello. And when I snatch the mic and I rock the mic, add the echo. And I'm shining, I'm divine. I serve the true vine and pop the top of the Martinelli's kind of rap shot. Apostolic like Sister Betty. Flesh is the big fly. It's kinda dangerous like lifting weights and flip flops. And anybody who don't like it, they can kick rocks. Feed me power pellets like my name was Chomp Chomp. Let me see you get loud. All my Jesus freaks getting rowdy. All my murder days is uncloudy. Talk your junk, but you ain't gon' make me doubt 'em. If you wanna know why, because I know too much about him, I'm a Jesus freaker.
Jesus freaker.
Don't look around, I'm a Jesus freaker.
Jesus freaker.
So tell me now where I'm a Jesus freak's at.
Jesus freaker.
If you ain't ashamed to tell me where them Jesus freaks at.
Jesus freaker.
Let me tell me where them Jesus freaks at.
Jesus freaker.
And tell me where them Jesus freaks at.
Jesus freaker.
And tell me where them Jesus freaks at.
Jesus freaker.
Just tell me where them Jesus freaks at.
Jesus freaker.
For the team, took a bullet for the dream that we would one day all be free, free from prejudice, free from sexism, free from bigotry. I die for creativity, I die for freedom to be free. I died and left a legacy. Oh, but baby, I still live through technology. After the sun, oh, then comes the rain. Yeah. And after the storm, the sun will start shining. What is a pain? And tears of pain. And tears of pain. And a dash of struggle. Just be patient. Your destiny will manifest. Yes, falls in the sea.
All right, we are back. We are back. Let me tell you something. Like I said in the beginning, if y'all missed it, all things are working for my good. All things are working for my good. And I don't have to be anything that nobody else wants me to be in order for me to live that. The only thing that's required is for me to be aware of that. And that's exactly what I'm doing and what I'm growing and evolving in, that awareness. Okay? Now, there will be some people who will take that small ass thing and say, well, again, God will not be mocked. See, the first time you went live trying to talk, look what happened. And it's so funny that when it comes to defending yourself outside of you, you will give all this energy, but yet y'all won't take none of this energy and put it inwardly, like reducing some of the fupas and the cankles and swankles that some of y'all have. No shade. If you can take that same fervent energy you have for people that you are afraid of and apply it to yourself in the ways of working out your own soul salvation, you will actually be some benefit to society. Okay? And again, we're going to take our time, because if I have to do this again and again and again, all I'm going to do is sit back and just think of more things that I can say to strengthen my argument and my perspective. And I don't think y'all want that. Because I'm okay with repetition. I'm okay with doing things over again and again and again and again and again. Because I'm a deliberate creator and I'm creating healthy habits in my life that benefit not just me, but those outside of me. And I don't do it in the realm of fear. And if there is fear, we're going to learn how to get through the fear. That's the point. But today we're going to speak about fear. What's up, Queen Donna B? What's up, Harold? Shout out to y'all, okay? Make sure y'all please like the live and make sure that y'all please share them in these queerphobic ass spaces. Y'all got some damn Baptist groups that's talking all crazy about queerness, and you in there, share this video. Because again, if we're going to have these conversations, let's have these conversations across the board, because we're talking about humanity here. And if we're going to use the realm of Christianity, the lens of Christianity, I'm going to use it too. Like I said, equality across the board. You scratch my back, I scratch yours. You're in my blind spot, I'm in yours. Okay? But anyway, let's go ahead and get into this. Copyright disclaimer under section 107 of the Lord, please tell me it's not doing it again. Okay, good. Copyright disclaimer under section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. All the videos, songs, images, and graphics used in this live belong to their respective owners, and BubzDaGawd does not claim any right over them. Now, what we're going to get into, because let's jump into it, y'all. As you can see on the screen, we're going to deal with a few things, okay? The first thing that I want to deal with and I want to read about is about the Algerian fighter, and I might mess up names, so it is what it is, y'all. Imane or forgive me, Khelif, okay? There's this narrative going around that this individual is a trans woman, that it is a male who has transitioned into a societal version of a female, okay? That's why it's important to study to show thyself approved, which means do your research and do your fair use of research. Because again, and even Queen Stevie said it, and other trans women have said it, which is true, unfortunately, that transphobia does not just affect trans people, it affects cis people as well. Y'all keep forgetting that. But anyway, again, all the links are in the description box below if you want to follow along with me. This one is from usatoday.com, and it reads, fact check on Algerian fighter Imane Khelif, DSDs, biology, and Olympic boxing. Okay? Now, despite outcries from anti-trans celebrities and politicians, the International Olympic Committee confirmed Imane Khelif is eligible to compete in women's boxing at the Paris Games. Now, Khelif went viral on social media after winning her opening bout Thursday against Italy's Angela Carini, who stopped fighting after 46 seconds. Khelif, along with Taiwanese boxer Ling Yunting, were both disqualified from their championships in 2023 after the International Boxing Association said they failed gender eligibility testing, a move that the IOC has called a sudden and arbitrary decision. The two boxers also competed in the 2021 Tokyo Games but did not medal. Quote, the IOC is committed to protecting the human rights of all athletes participating in the Olympic Games, the organization said in a statement. The IOC is saddened by the abuse that the two athletes are currently receiving. Now, again, this is a fact check. Imane Khelif is a woman. She is a female who is not transgender nor identifies as intersex. Okay, this is according to GLAAD and Interact. And there will be some people saying, well, of course they're going to say it. They're queer, but we're the ones actually willing to do the research and step outside the realm of fear and actually see it for what it really is, as opposed to what the boogeyman has been told us to be. A boogeyman has, we've been indoctrinated to believe the boogeyman to be, shall I say, excuse me. So Khelif is a cisgender female, okay? What's up, Queen Spice? Hey, what's up? Okay, now Khelif reportedly has differences of sexual development known as DSDs, the organization said in a fact sheet released Friday. Having DSD is not the same as being transgendered. Now, what is DSDs? Differences in sexual development is a set of rare conditions involving genes, hormones, and reproductive organs that can cause the sexual development of a person to be different than others, according to the NHS. Now, sometimes this can lead to a person having XY chromosomes but develop otherwise female. Now, the IBA, long mirrored with scandal and controversy, oversaw Olympic boxing before being stripped of its rights before the Tokyo Games and is no longer recognized of the International Federation of Boxing. In the face of backlash over Khelif's 2024 win, the IBA stood by its decision to disqualify the boxers over two trustworthy and independent tests, though they did not disclose what the tests were. The Washington Post reported IBA president claimed they were disqualified over finding XY chromosomes. Now, the IOC said the gender and age for the athletes is based on their passports. The Paris Games is the first in history to reach gender parity. Transgender inclusion has had no negative effect on gender parity at the Olympics, according to GLAAD and Interact. Also, IOC guidelines state athletes should not be excluded from competing due to the alleged unfair advantage based on sex variations, according to GLAAD. Now, conservatives, I guess everybody controversial, girl. Conservatives seize on boxing to spread anti-trans rhetoric. Now, as part of a large wave of anti-queer laws in the U.S., transgendered women in sports has become a key rallying call for conservatives. In the last 5 years, 25 states have passed laws banning trans students from participating in sports that match their gender identity, according to data compiled by MAP. Despite research from the Human Rights Campaign showing trans youth are a small part of the population, girl, and not all of them are interested in playing sports. Now, former President Donald Trump jumped on Khelif's win at the Olympics to further his campaign promise, posting a video of the fight on social media, quote, "I will keep men out of women's sports." Now, Trump's running mate, J.D. Vance, shared a video of the match on X, falsely calling Khelif a man and suggesting Kamala Harris's stance on gender leads to a disgusting outcome. From my point of view, this was not an equal competition. Conservative Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni, I'm messing these names up, oh Lord, said, according to Politico. Khelif told UNICEF earlier this year that she was picked on for participating in sports as a girl growing up and had to raise money for her boxing lessons as her father did not approve of her getting into the sport, because she is a girl. "I started with nothing and now I have everything," she said. So I wanted to read that. We were fact checking that again. Imane Khelif is a female. It's not someone who is trans. I want y'all to also go on Google and look up the after or the end results of females that fight in the UFC and do boxing, girl. They face be all fucked up too. Let's not act like there are some women in the world who also know how to whoop ass. Let's act like they don't. Y'all acting like they don't exist. They exist. They exist. Do y'all remember China from WWF back when it was WWF, girl? There are some women that know how to whoop ass. Do y'all remember the whole incident? I forgot what it was called, when a woman was unalived with her friends out of the country, girl, and they were saying that the person that beat her ass was a trans woman when it was really a cis woman, as if though women don't know. They act like women are so weak that they can't come out here and whoop ass too. I mean, come on now. So to sit up here, and I'm sorry that for a lot of men, when y'all think of women boxing matches, y'all think of like the soft core porn thing where they and somehow titties just pop out and ooh, no. Some of these women be getting hit hard as hell. Some of these women be having lumped up eyes and broken noses and busted lips too. But in this instance, in the context of the fighting and the boxing, they know exactly what they were coming into. They know what they were heading into. They knew what the consequences were or the repercussions could be. So we're not just going to listen to the article. We're also going to take a look, okay, at AdrianXpressions with his slim thick ass girl, giving his perspective on the whole Imane situation, which I do greatly appreciate. Again, the link for the video is in the description box below, and I ask that you please go over there and subscribe to him if you haven't already. Okay, shout out to AdrianXpressions. Black Men Unfiltered. I'm glad you're in here. Wrestling is game and scripted. Yes, it is game and scripted. But what's not scripted is those moves. There are plenty of people who have got fucked up and have done the wrong thing and got messed up. And again, with China, China's ass was able to pick motherfuckers up. China was able to pick grown-ass men up, okay? There's also intergender wrestling. There are plenty of individuals who are female that wrestle with men, and they be getting their ass beat and be beating the asses of men too. Not all women have to do that, but there are some women who can and will, is what I'm saying. There is not going to be a supply of, there's not going to be a short of a supply of feminine, dainty ass women who will cook, clean, and wash everything and serve pussy up whenever you want it to. You're going to have women that's going to do that. Some of y'all are married to women that already do that. So I'd be kind of wondering where the extra energy be coming from when you actually live in the dream. You live in the reality that so many people are quote unquote missing out on. So there should be some sort of joy in your heart. Okay? But we're not just going to do that. And black man, please stay. Please stay. Welcome to the chat. Thank you. And now that you're here, can you please tell me when you're going to actually do this live on Lil RT? Because that was supposed to be last Tuesday, bruh. So hopefully we will get that. But anyway, let's listen to AdrianXpressions. So you support men fighting women. If the women want to fight the men, yeah. I'm not talking about men fighting women where they're over here using their power and authority over women. Just like how there's a lot of people in the red pill spaces who use the narrative of Jesus flipping the table as a way of disciplining women. See, these women get in the ring and they know what they doing. These women train. And on top of that, I would love to see some of the men on the panel go against some of these women who know how to box and fight for real. Let's see if all men being stronger than women is actually true. Don't just hit the women who are, ooh, please stop. Hit the women who gonna say, that's all you got. Fight them and record it. Show us the way. But anyway, let's get into AdrianXpressions video. And y'all, please respect BMU. Let him share his thoughts. Do not mute anything that he says. Because I said it's equality across the board. But share your thoughts. Anyway, let's go ahead and get into the video.
All right, y'all. So I think that these moments where cis heteronormativity eats itself, these moments are so interesting to observe because transphobia is proving yet again that it is not only extremely dangerous for trans women, but cis women are at risk as well. Let's discuss it. So big news from the Olympics or whatever. Angela Carini, this Italian boxer, quit a match against Imane Khelif, Algerian boxer, after 45 seconds. After 45 seconds. Angela said that she quit because of the pain from Khelif's opening punches, adding that her nose bled afterwards. She said, what did Angela say? She said, my face and nose were hurting. I couldn't breathe anymore. I thought about my family. I looked at my brother in the stands and I went to my corner to retire. I've never been hit with such a powerful punch. She was crying hysterically. And so that comment of like, oh, I've never been punched so hard, I've never been hit so hard, gave very much dog whistle, right? And it started this entire transvestigation on Imane Khelif. Now, the controversy is so interesting to me because Imane Khelif is assigned female at birth. She literally has all the body parts that transphobic people require her to have, and still it isn't enough, or transphobic people require women to have, and it's still not enough. They're still calling her a man. And I've seen I've seen people do this to Serena Williams, my whole life. Women of color are always on the chopping block, right? And then you couple that with white women tears, and now we've got a whole transvestigation going on. It was blowing up the timeline. It was all over the mainstream news. It was ridiculous. I mean, they brought up testosterone levels as if women and men don't produce testosterone and estrogen, obviously at different levels or whatever, but each individual is different. And we didn't even talk about intersex people. It's just like they started talking about chromosomes and genetic physiological advantages. And anytime y'all bring up physiological or physical advantages, I'm always going to bring up Michael Phelps, because he had all the advantages on the planet. He had all the advantages in the world when it comes to, especially when it comes to swimming and stuff. And y'all still awarded him. Y'all still awarded him. Now, to me, the truth of the matter is that gender, like everything, like so many other things, is socially constructed. It's just proof of it. Because by transphobic people's own rules of gender essentialism, if Imane has the physiological equipment in her pants of a woman, then she should automatically be a woman, especially, like I said to y'all, gender essentialist people.
And we're talking about one that was already there. We're not talking about the ones that y'all call the faux vaginas, the fake vaginas. We're talking about an individual who was born with the vagina. But again, how many of y'all know family members who are biologically female, but they got that Miss Pearly wolf pussy shit on the top of their damn lip? Let's not forget that I did a live about 1.5 years, 2 years ago, when I was giving a critique on Tough Topics podcast perspective of transness, that I used, I forgot her name, Shut Up Fool, or whatever that lady looked like, girl. Y'all know who I'm talking about on Sanford and Son and shit? Who looked like what society would deem as a man in the face. There are biological females, cis females, who also have masculine, what society would consider as masculine things as well. Oh, well, that's a rare thing, but it exists. And y'all are judging this rare thing and trying to make this rare thing or this small thing a bigger issue than what it really is. That's the problem. That's the issue. Anyway, let's continue. And BMU, I hope you're still here, sir. Please, I would like for you to sit through one of my lives. You know how many times I've sat through hours of yours? Okay? So again, let's put that mental and emotional awareness and stuff to work and stay for the whole entire life. And if there's something in this live that I said that you would love to expound on your channel, you can definitely do that. Again, I've given you permission to do that. Okay? But anyway, let's continue. And thank you, Spicy Esther. Okay? Or what some people would have called her ass, Eric.
she has the physical equipment, the equipment in her pants of a woman, then she should automatically be a woman, especially in the eyes of people who are gender essentialist, transphobic in that way, right? So what's the issue? The real issue is that she is a strong woman, a competent woman, a talented woman, of color, with
black men, and we not scared either. What I'm saying is, there have been times where I've sat there in y'all lives and I listened. I didn't ask to drop the link because in order for me to respond properly, I have to listen to everything that y'all say. I'm asking you to do the same thing so that when y'all get on y'all lives, y'all can actually have factual proof as opposed to just saying, well, I just want to get up here and be able to say what I want to say too. Okay, you can say what you want to say, but be educated in what you say about it. And don't worry, if you stay for the entire time, black man, we're going to get into one area where you're going to be able to use all your expertise in, because we're going to use the Bible, and we know you good at that. I don't need to use other content creator in a content. I don't need to use others' content in a content creator. Yeah, because you have other content creators creating content on your platform. So yeah, you have a network going on, which is not just you doing everything. You have other people that come on too, so they get exposure. So in a sense, you already do, and trust me, I've already been on a network like that, where they use our content on their platform. You're doing the same thing. The gag is that I'm doing this by myself, and I bring more receipts and stuff to talk about what I'm talking about, which is why I use other people's content and use it as a springboard, just like how y'all sit on y'all panels and y'all attempt to do that with little excerpts. Yeah, we doing the same thing, sir. It's just I'm doing it by myself. And then my thing is this, how about this? I'll create a live and y'all can come over here. We'll do that. We'll have it planned. Because right now this is supposed to be about listening and learning. I don't come on your platform every time and ask you to drop the link. I only come when I'm invited. Okay? But now that you said that, I think I will create a live later on this week. And then y'all can come over here. That's a good idea. I like that. Like that. Anyway, let's continue.
Certain physical features that people feel uncomfortable attributing to a woman, though she is one. And so people's brains break when they try to categorize her. Mm-hmm. And this is the entire issue. Shoving people into categories so that society can feel comfortable, right, interacting with certain people can be very dangerous. What people are actually saying is that no, it takes more than just what's in your pants to make you a woman. And it's so interesting because that argument sounds very similar to what people are saying when people who want people to live in their own truth and identity, is that it takes more than just parts. Like, you're more than just body parts. And so it's interesting hearing this argument come from like a bigoted standpoint, because what they're saying literally is that it does not matter what she has in her pants. Like, look at her. You gonna tell me that that's a woman? And it's just like, can y'all not see how dangerous that is? Especially when you're taught, because they will, especially the alt-right, they will dumb down what it means to be a woman to body parts and to making sure that you can bear children. And so when there's women who can't bear children, who are, you know what I mean? Then now y'all are calling into question their womanhood. And so it's such a paradox. It's to watch transphobic people break their brains trying to categorize women like Imane. And also, people are just not thinking, why would Algeria send a trans person to represent them when being trans is illegal over there? Like, y'all have got to be kidding me. Y'all have got to be.
That's the part that I'm like, what? Why would they send are they sending them to die? Now, unless they exiling this individual and saying you got to go, the only way you can be able to be honored is if you go over there and you beat the woman ass. okay, maybe that'll be different. But again, why would they send someone to represent their country that they are in the overt way of showing their disdain? Just like over here in America, it's the exact same thing over here. Or at least it's screaming to come out. Okay? And again, I'm asking y'all to try y'all best to respect black men unfiltered in my chat. If there's any issues, I will handle it. Okay? Y'all can respond. Y'all can have conversations. And I'm glad that you're here, BMU, because I'm hoping that you listening like I do to y'all. And obviously what I'm saying must be hitting because you also show up and you listen too. That's what I want. And I ain't talking about that in a narcissistic ass way because I don't care about views because I obviously don't get them. Let you say it. But about actual community. Because at this point, y'all gonna need the fags help. Sorry. Y'all gonna need the fags help. And y'all probably wouldn't need the fags help if y'all was actually going out there and stopping these young hetero boys from doing destructive shit to not just themselves and women, but the community. Just like y'all was supposed to do a live that was on the books about Lil RT. Yeah.
Kidding me. So here is where I think progress might be made, maybe when, maybe in a couple generations or something. But my belief is that in a perfect world, sports would not be separated by gender. Sports would not be separated by gender. It's a corny separation because people think that women are so much weaker than men that they have to be in entire different categories. They have to be in entirely different leagues. I think that in a perfect world, you know, without the threat of sexual violence from men, I mean, in locker rooms, on the courts, in the ring, without the threat of sexual violence from men, in a perfect world, we would separate sports not by sex, gender, whatever, but by things like weight, strength, muscle mass, ability, skill level, experience, whatever, you know, something like that. But I think there's this belief in society that men are automatically, inherently weaker across all levels than men. And I'm just like, girl, if there is a woman who trained 6, 7, 8 years to be a boxer, you know, to be a fighter, and I take myself in a ring, I categorize, you know, y'all categorize me as a man, I take myself in the ring to fight, and I haven't trained to fight against this woman who has trained for years, who has worked out and trained for years to box, to fight, right?
I'm gonna get to your
I'm
comments,
going to
black man.
get beat up. You see what I'm saying? It doesn't, just because I'm categorized as a man doesn't mean I'm inherently stronger than a woman who's been out here training, who's been out here lifting.
And like I also said, when it comes down to fighting or self-defense or whatever the area of Mortal Kombat physical altercation has to happen, if you are educated on what to do and where to hit a motherfucker, it don't matter how big and how strong and how intimidating they are. There are so many pressure points. There are so many things and so many ways that you can harm somebody. And as an individual who grew up being bullied as an adult, I've studied how to be able to protect myself. And like in the last example I used in one of the lives with BMU, when we brought up Brock Lesnar's daughter, who is the beast incarnate, the princess version. She don't look dainty in the face. She don't look what is normally or generally attractive in the face. She is a biological female that could probably wear a goddamn 44 long or 44 regular in a damn suit. And like I said, I would love to see some of these red pill men to get in the ring with a female who's been boxing for a long time. Show us. Show us. Because it seems like the only time that a lot of men really want to show their power is when they're using it over other people, instead of them fighting somebody who was on their level. Anyway, let's continue because we have a pretty lengthy live.
You know what I'm saying? So separating sports by sex and gender, all that stuff, to me doesn't make any sense. In a perfect world, of course, in a perfect world. But like,
AdrianXpressions viewpoint,
it doesn't make any sense
that perspective.
If, the force behind a punch don't depend on what's going on in the person's pants. It don't. It depends on if the person trained. It depends on their build. So why not just separate sports based on that? Why not? I think a lot of men would be uncomfortable with this because they would have to face the truth of it. They would have to face the truth that, like, the thing dangling in your pants does not make you inherently stronger than women, especially if they lift in the same amount as you, they punch in with the same force as you. So men would get beat up not only by men, but also by women too. And, vice versa, whatever. But I think that it just makes it, these separations of categories in that way makes it seem like there's no possible way that a man and woman can fight fairly. It's like automatically women are weaker. And so I think that a lot of the issues with this would be dissolved if we separated sports in a completely different way. But I don't know if people are ready to do that, because sitting everyone down and separating them like boy, girl, boy, girl, boy, girl is really corny to me. But especially when intersex people get involved, because now y'all brains are breaking. You don't know what to do. When intersex people get involved, you don't know what to do. People don't know what to do. The way that this society treats and talks about intersex people is so terrible, by the way. So when they get involved and y'all done separated everything by sex, man, woman, male, female, and then an intersex person walks in, people are gonna lose their minds. And so I'm like, I could go on and on and on. I just think it's not it's becoming ridiculous, right? Yeah, but I find it interesting every time a woman who is assigned female at birth, with all the body parts that people associate with that, and I find it so interesting when they get dragged by transphobic people, because at the end of the day, clearly it's not about anything other than bigotry and society wanting to put people in categories so that society can be comfortable. So the controversy was so bad that the International Olympic Committee had to come out and say that Imane was born a female. They said that this isn't even a trans issue because she has always identified as female and was assigned female at birth. The IOC expressed firm support of her participation, of Imane's participation and eligibility. And then Angela gonna come around here and apologize. She said, all this controversy makes me sad. I'm sorry for my opponent too. If the IOC said she can fight, I respect that decision. It wasn't something, I guess, about like not shaking her hand at the end of the match. Angela said, it wasn't something I intended to do. Actually, I want to apologize to her and everyone else. I was angry because my Olympics had gone up in smoke. She added that if she ever met Imane Khelif again, she would embrace her.
Now let's deal with that real quick. Again, let me help some of you niggas understand this. Imagine y'all, let's use football. Football season coming through and y'all just killing it, win after win after win after win after win. Now we get into the championships. Now it's the big leagues. Now it's the most important thing now, because this is the highlight of everything that we worked for. And now we here. And imagine you prepared all this type of shit and your opponent is, unfortunately, at this point in time, better than y'all. If y'all are getting y'all ass whooped royally, y'all not gonna be stoic and be like, well, such is life. Well, it is what it is. Next time, God, we'll get them next time. Hell no. Y'all gonna be sitting there trying to hide y'all faces because the tears will start flowing and you don't know how to stop them. But because, again, I gotta be a man and men don't cry, I gotta be able to not do that. So let's use that same logic. It's the same thing in this situation. Homegirl prepared This was her time. She's been chosen. And on top of that, when you're at the Olympics, we ain't talking about your motherfucking neighborhood. We ain't talking about your motherfucking city or your motherfucking state. We're talking about the country. You're representing a country now. And to see her dreams as far as her working crumble like this, just like y'all say all the time, somebody gotta win and somebody gotta lose. I believe it was Embrace the Grace who said, I don't do all that, you know, trophies for everybody. I'ma tell you, you suck, bruh. You suck. You gotta go to work. You suck. They whooped your ass. I don't know what to tell you. It's the same thing for her. But because she has emotional awareness and intelligence, she was able to look back in retrospect and be like, wow, well, if these individuals are verifying it, not me acting in my emotionality, because again, women are so emotional. So here she is acting emotionally about losing. Now that she's able to look in retrospect, she was like, wow, if they said that she can compete and she is a female at birth, we're not talking about no trans situation, but female at birth, I respect that. And again, if I were to see Imane, I would shake her hand because I was emotionally unstable, right? Because remember, women go overboard with their emotions. They need men to check them, right? Anyway, let's continue.
And it's just like, Angela, you took yourself to the literal Olympics, not a regular like street boxing match, not a little play match in the gym, like in a local gym. Like, you went to big international Olympics and got mad because you got punched hard. You need to find another thing to do. You need to find another passion, girl, because this one ain't it. And you talk about I ain't never got hit this hard, but you've been knocked out multiple times. Please get out my face.
What?
Please get out my face. Mama, you need to be...
Maybe this was the first time that she got hit where she wasn't knocked out, but that pain was there to where she wanted to be knocked out. Because again, when I was fighting other cis women before I fought Imane, I was getting knocked out. So again, she got knocked out. It wasn't no playful, oh yes, let me knock you out with my left titty. No, it was straight up won't. But now that this is a pain that is everlasting, okay, at least for that time being, now, oh my God, she a man.
Working in the local coffee shop or something more relaxed, something more chill, since you complaining about getting punched at a boxing ring, in a boxing match. Like, you can't be serious. So I don't know, looking at this entire situation was like a masterclass in like dog whistles, transphobia, cis heteronormativity, the social constructs of gender, and most interestingly to me, it showed that clearly to a lot of these transphobic people, it takes more than just the equipment in your pants, to make them categorize you as either a man or a woman or whatever, right? Because even when you have that equipment, people will still be transphobic to you depending on your features, depending on, girl, your race. Like, that's why I think it helps no one to be transphobic. It does not make sense to be transphobic, because even cis women, even women assigned female at birth who are not trans, if they don't measure up to some of these standards, they will themselves be torn up by transphobic rhetoric. So yeah, I think we need different ways to categorize this stuff. And we just need people to use their brains. Like, I just want that. Definitely. And I know that's way too much to ask from Americans in 2024. I mean, Americans, period. Anyway, thank y'all so much for watching.
All right, y'all, that was AdrianXpressions video. Let me check y'all comments real quick. I really want to see BMU's comments before we go to the next one. Let me see. BMU said, if I sent you the link, you won't show up. The smoke is not what you seek. BMU, I hope you're still here. I keep saying this, which is the funny part. I showed up twice to your platform, on the platform, looking ratchet and ghetto and hood. I showed up in your lives and commented Well, a lot of my comments were skipped over or barely addressed because I was the queer mentally ill person in the room causing discourse, so we're not going to address his comments. So it's again clear to me that y'all don't want to have a conversation. Y'all want to use this as an opportunity to be performative and to give this illusion that we men are taking our power back by putting these fags in their place. And then when the fags come in the room, y'all don't do any of that until after the fact. So if I were to come over there the next time, there would be no conversation. I will be giving y'all what y'all want, but also what y'all low-key need, which y'all are not ready for yet. Because if my words, when I was on the platform a second time, made some of your compadres want to physically harm me, if I come over there again, some of them will be trying to figure out where the hell I'm at. And just like the church, the only time y'all really express the power of God is when it's time to be violent. You will have all this smoke for the homosexual, but y'all won't have none of this smoke for the niggas that again are holding Lil RT's life in jeopardy. Young ass black boy who can still be saved. Not a mentally ill queer adult like myself who's lost in the sauce. We're talking about a young ass man, right? And y'all failed to save his life. So why don't y'all do the real thing and save heterosexual black men and let God handle the fags? I think that would be easier for y'all. Now at this point, do y'all want a conversation or do you just want Armageddon? Which one? Let us know. Because if it's gonna be war, then just let it be war then. It's sad it has to be war. But because of what's happening to queer people, and not just queer people, oppressed groups of people like both of our black asses, sir, we're about to deal with so much bullshit. And there are people out there through fear and ignorance who are spreading misinformation that is actually affecting the lives of other people, the lives of queer people. But y'all would know that if y'all actually do y'all research. Because every time y'all talk about queerness, it's about what the Bible said and what my old ass grandma said and what all these other people said. There is much more to the world than just your book. There is much more to the world than just what your grandma saw. Okay, let me go for it. Anyway, Beanie says, I'm the A side. Why should I come to your platform and teach to an audience, not just showing up to talk or teach nobody? I mean, the same way I come over to your platform when was in the comment sections, and again, I'm commenting stuff, some of my other people who are queer commenting things, and y'all go over it. Or whenever y'all highlight it, now it's the excuse of, well, they didn't hijack the conversation when y'all really wasn't talking about shit. Just like how y'all really wasn't talking about shit about the Olympics video. But anyway, what we're gonna get into next, okay? I'm going to read another article and then we're gonna get into a video, okay? Again, this is from LGBTQ Nation. Again, there are queer people who also follow up on their own news or their own life. You know, hetero people ain't gonna do it. And it reads, GOP candidate posts menacing message about queer-friendly churches while holding a gun. She said in her solution to gay garbage could land me in jail while calling gay churches cancer. Republican candidate for Missouri, Secretary of State, and anti-queer extremist Valentina Gomez posted a video with violent rhetoric to social media where she accused queer-friendly churches of promoting, quote, satanic and edifying garbage. She said that her response to those churches would not be to turn the other cheek and would result in her going to jail. She then posted a picture of herself holding a rifle in the video. Quote, "I will not let Jesus Christ be mocked," Gomez said, while standing in front of a church with a rainbow flag. "All this satanic and edifying garbage in the Olympics, in our churches, and in our government will end when Christians and Catholics start fighting back." Quote, "I will not turn the other cheek when defending Jesus Christ," she continued. "And if this lands me in jail, then so be it. Screw your gay garbage." Okay. "I'm coming for all the ediphiles this flag represents." Then, if her message wasn't clear enough, she posted a picture of herself holding a rifle. "Gay churches are a cancer," she wrote. Now, queer-friendly houses of worship have been a lightning rod for violence and threats of violence in the past several years. A report from GLAAD and the Anti-Defamation League, ADL, earlier this year found over 60 incidents of anti-queer hate directed at places of worship from June 2022 to January of this year. White supremacist Imane Khelif, for example, was sentenced to 18 years in prison after he attempted to firebomb a queer-friendly church in Chester, Ohio, that was hosting a drag story hour event. Queer-friendly churches have also been targeted for vandalism. An Atlanta church, whose congregation is 40% queer, had its progressive pride flag torn down aggressively by a vandal this past January. For years, anti-queer activists relied on the stereotype of queer condemnation, from religious figures, said GLAAD's Ross Murray. Quote, "Now that religious communities are faithfully coming to the conclusion that the queer community should be safe from violence and welcomed into faith communities, anti-queer activists are turning to violence and intimidation on those faith communities. Faith leaders cannot back down or allow their voices to be silenced by a radical fringe, but must continue to stand for the safety and welcome of queer people." But I don't want y'all to just read it. I'd rather y'all hear it from her mouth. Let's take a listen, shall we?
"I will not let Jesus Christ be mocked. All the satanic and pedophile garbage in the Olympics, in our churches, and in our government will end when Christians and Catholics start fighting back. I will not turn the other cheek when defending Jesus Christ. And if this lands me in jail, then so be it. Screw your gay garbage. I'm coming for all of the pedophiles this flag represents."
Miss Valentina Gomez said that. Take a sip of water real quick. Make sure y'all like this video. Again, when you look at history, we know exactly where this is about to go. Which is why I do what I do, so to help change the narrative and the trajectory so that it doesn't go down that road. But it seems like we're going down a historic road. Especially for the individuals who are saying that Jesus will not be mocked and all this stuff. I'm gonna need for y'all to also be objectively factual and look up the history about the dark ages of the church. Because the Catholic faith has more blood on their hands than anybody ever could, and that's facts. Project 2025 wants to bring that into fruition. Well, since the fags is coming out the closet, let us as religious people come out the closet and reclaim our time. When this was the time to actually reclaim the time of walking in the inclusivity of Christ. He got to know their heart and their mind and allowed love to do the rest. But organized religion doesn't teach y'all about love. And if it does teach you about love, it teaches you about a superficial love that comes with a price tag. And speaking of that, let's get to the woman of the hour, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone in between. Lady-elect Patricia Owens, First Lady, who is, again, spewing queer-phobic, fear-based rhetoric and ideology, even though she is breaking the law in the Bible herself, because even BMU and them over there said that women should not be allowed to teach and to speak, especially in the house of God. Meanwhile, she is doing that while condemning homosexual people. So how about this, Lady-elect Owens? Queer people will renounce their sexuality once you renounce how much of a shame you've been to the church, because there's a reason the Bible for a woman to preach or to speak in a church, especially a church that her husband leads. And she's not speaking to just women, she's speaking to men and women and telling men how they should act. That's against the Bible, ma'am. Seems like everybody's cherry picking. Interesting. But let's get into Lady Owens real quick. And again, fair use enacted. Let's do it.
This is the Lord's house. You don't do everything up in the Lord's house. You don't say everything up in the Lord's house. Come on, if holiness becometh God's house, you're supposed to be holy. It's a shame, amen. It's a shame. And listen, I'm warned, the bishop said this year is a year of deception. It's going to be a year of exposure too. God is going to expose you. And it ain't because God has not been merciful. I want people out there, because I want people out there in the world visiting on stream. I want you to know, please forgive us. Everybody ain't like that. Some of us believe there's a hell. We believe there's a heaven. We believe you should live right. We don't believe in a fornication. We don't believe in adultery. We don't believe in smoking, doping, all that craziness. Not all of us do that.
But you believe in female pastors and preachers and speakers, though, who are speaking in the house of God. Y'all believe in the big back spirit. Big back, big back. Y'all believe in the chitlin spirit, the hog maws, the pig feet spirit, the high blood pressure spirit, the diabetes spirit, the hypertension spirit, the gout spirit, the fupa spirit. And having a fupa is an excessive sign of gluttony. So until some of y'all got 6 and 8 packs for Christ, I don't want to hear nothing. Okay? Because as much as y'all want to point people out in the book, you're in the book too, baby. This book is about humanity.
Some of us, when we come to the house of God, we respect God's house. Well, God looks on the inward and he don't look at the outward. No, he doesn't, but we reverence him enough that when we come to... Now, if you coming in the first time, we're here in Las Vegas. We don't care if people come from the strip in their shorts and whatever they come in. They're coming here for us to help them. We're not judging them. We have the utmost respect for those people that would even come here. We respect them. I'm talking about folks talking about you born again. You ain't born again. You are not born again, and you're not a Christian. No, you're not. Christian means to be like God. You ain't nowhere near like Jesus. No, you're not. Well...
Another thing, is it like God or is it like Jesus? Which one is it? Or whether the same thing? Will the Old Testament and New Testament show two polar opposites. One testament was about death and destruction and fucking shit up on sight. The other one was more so compassionate and loving. So at that point, I think that's a very good question. What image are you walking in? Are you walking after the image of God or the image of Christ? And be careful how you answer. Because didn't it say that no one can get to the Father but by going through me? Through Christ? Which the way that I interpret it to be, since the Bible is open for interpretation, take what is yours and leave the rest alone. Look at it through the lens of love. Now, using her example, if somebody who was a streetwalker walked into the church and they had on a whole outfit, are you telling me that these people would just be like, come here, girl, come here. It don't even matter, baby, come here. We love you. We love you. Or would it automatically be, oh, girl, look at her, what she got on? Girl, The mothers would be like, girl, hand me a towel. Come here, baby, let me cover you up. Cause you over here showing all your stuff, and we don't want to sit up here and get the men off of Jesus, even though they the stoic ones. They supposed to have their mind on Jesus. There shouldn't be no problem. But and if they would have actually loved on this woman for who she is and who she isn't, there would come an awareness to where she's like, you know what? Let me find a way to dress myself more modestly. But let's also take it in this perspective. But when you have individuals like Erica Campbell, who can't help how she built, or Jacqueline Carr, Jacqueline Carr, who can't help how she built, or Yolanda Adams, who can't help how she's built, and they be dressed from neck to the damn feet, and they can't help they have legs and hips and body and titties that they can't smash down, because if they smash it down, y'all would think that they doing that lesbian shit. Okay? And they still face criticism. Hell, Kim Burrell showed a little bit of her damn shoulder when she used to have shoulders, and the church was mad about that. So again, it's one thing to talk about love, it's another thing to walk that out. And how can you walk out love when you've been told by organized religion that you're dirty, you're nasty, you're a filthy rag before God? Then if that's the case, then why did the Son come down to die for a filthy rag?
I think they should show you by your what's on the inside. Ain't nothing in you for them to see. We're talking about the world. See, I'm tired of that. Coming here, clapping your hands, oh, let me take communion. No, you live right before you take the communion. You live right before you take it. God he don't care about if the world take it, then they go, that's them, but you know better and should do better. We need to stop this, clean up. You need to clean yourself up and make up in your mind in 2024. I done got by with so much, and God's been so merciful to me and so kind to me. I'm gonna make up my mind in 2024, I'm gonna make it real. I'm gonna live it real. So somebody can see my good works and not glorify me, not give me fame, but give my Father which is in heaven. They can see the Christ in me. Now, you know what? I wish I could just be somewhere else to say this, but you're visiting here. And visitors, we are so glad to have you. We're really a loving place. And I wouldn't say this if I didn't love you. But I'm talking about people that know better and won't do better, all on the line. Because, you know, to me, if you bold enough, I'm respecting Bishop and not calling your name, but I ain't scared of you. Because if you bold enough to say it, I'm going to be bold enough to say it. I'm not going in no corner and sit down. Oh, we don't want to offend nobody. Yes, I do want to offend you. I want to offend you so you can get right. I want to offend you till you get shame of what you're doing. You feel disgrace for what you're doing. I want you to feel what I'm saying. I'm not here to pat you and tell you you're wonderful. No, you're not. Stop that. Stop it before it's too late. The time is going to come. You're going to want to change, and God is giving you up.
Now let's continue to speak about that. if we because again, there are some of us who's like, okay, let's play the game. Let's play the game. Okay, being gay is a sin. We accept that. Okay, then. I need for you to do the other side, boo, too. I need you to show where your shit at, too, because, again, we're being honest and vulnerable, right? So, again, you're a female, and that book has prevented you from doing what you're doing right now. All those other men in the background didn't walk over to her husband and say, Bishop, what you doing? Bishop, this is not biblical. But meanwhile, the man standing back there smiling, yeah. No. Ain't the husband supposed to be speaking? Didn't it say for women that they should ask their husbands at home? They're supposed to be silent and shut the fuck up. At least I'm surprised a lot of men don't go to church, because if that's the place, you can tell your woman to shut the fuck up and use the Bible, girl. You ain't got to worry about her nagging. The Bible says shut the fuck up. Take her to church. She'll shut the fuck up. So if the gay is gonna have to give up the quote-unquote sexuality, then Lady Elect gonna have to give up preaching and ministering, and she need to do what a first lady does, is sit there, these big ass flamingo hats on, with peacocks and all type of stuff made by one of the sissies at the church. Because again, y'all don't mind utilizing queer people's talents when it benefits you. And just sit there and look cute and look purty. That's what I think a first lady should do. Isn't that what the Bible says? Shut the hell up.
You don't want God to give you up to a reprobate mind. He's not giving sinners up to a reprobate mind. He's talking about the church. Those that know better, won't do better. You done heard the truth. You done heard it and heard. Instead of you getting mad at people that's weak, fake, false, and phony, you get mad at the real folks. Well, I just think they trying to be holier than thou. We'll never be holier than them, but at least we trying. At least we striving. I just got that off of my heart.
That shouldn't have been off your heart, because that wasn't biblical off your heart. It should be of the word. Should be of the word. Now, let's get into the second video, because we have 4. Okay, I didn't know of Miss Lady Elect Owens until I did this. Okay, so anyway, let's go ahead and let's take a listen to the second one, and make sure y'all like the video and share. Thank you.
You can't be weird and doing all that crazy stuff. No. Another thing, this for our young folks too. You all stop that mess. Put some socks on. Stop all that foolishness with your ashy ankles. And where that foolishness come from? Y'all quit that mess. I ain't got time. That's foolishness. Put some socks on. You a man. Be a man. Stop doing everything you see these sissified folks doing. You stop doing that. This ain't no sissified house. This the house of God. You put some socks on your feet, amen. And you better not come up in my house with some pearls on your neck. I'll slap you too. You don't come up here and disgrace God looking like a woman. I ain't playing with y'all today. Sit up there talking about you a prophet. No, listen, I'm gonna straighten this out tonight. Talking about you're a prophet and your hair braided better than my hair. You a man, get them braids out of your head. Get your braids out of your head. You a man, you're not a woman. Go get a haircut. Braids all up in your head and got a ponytail. How you got a ponytail and you a man? Where did the ponytail come from? It came from women. Came from women. Sit up there, hair all braided up, and gonna tell me what thus said the Lord. Thus said the Lord to you, go sit down and get right with God. You sitting up there, got his hair twisted up, and the older woman putting on that, preach, baby. She should have went to the altar and hold his hand and got on there with him. And you're saying foolish stuff, amen. And not only that, not only did he have that hair braided up with the ponytail like that, his hair was black and the braids were blonde. I said, what kind of foolishness is this? And up there making a show. You weren't hearing from God. Wasn't even preaching about nothing. Running across the stage like he me or some a woman. Oh, might feel God, but. That ain't God, that's called flesh. You stand up there like a man and say, thus saith the Lord. Thus saith the Lord to your people. You don't, no, And
so, in the scripture, it said that it will make the rocks cry out. It will make a jackass donkey talk, and I see there's a lot of that going on. Okay? That can happen. But a queer person having their own personal relationship with their Savior in a way that benefits their life and the lives of other people is evil and demonic. See, this be the funny part to me, because it's like when we have these conversations, we start off with, okay, we ask questions, well, what is a man and what is a woman? But then we tend to forget that there's layers to this shit, because motherfuckers in conversations with queer people want to just base it down as far as anatomy. But then when we look at it further, again, culturally, again, societally, social construct, oh, what also makes a man is all these attributes, and if a man looks this way and does this, and she just basically stated that a real man basically is not a man who is confident enough to be able to express himself artistically. I even think that on BMU, when they were doing the Paris recap, okay, that Mr. Bennett, again, shout out to Mr. Bennett, one of the only men on the platform who are aware enough, shout out to him again, who stated something along the lines of, like, even in the realm of art, that if brothers wanted to pursue art or certain types of art like the Alvin Ailey dance or anything that was considered feminine, you would then be queer or sus because of association. So again, black men can't even walk in their creative energy like they did in the 60s and 70s. Because how many of you niggas back when y'all had 32 waists and shit was wearing all type of damn ballerina stuff? Type in Heat Wave Always and Forever on YouTube right now, live at Soul Training live performance, girl, and look at the outfits they had on. Let's not act like y'all didn't have tight shit on. Y'all had on damn showing your belly and stuff. Let's not act like we have forgotten that. And they can't even express themselves because, again, it's men don't do this and men don't do that. Well, not all men are what you think men are. That is on the spectrum of what man is, but it does not represent all of man. Just like feminine gay men, feminine gay black men do not represent all black men, even all of queer men, because there are queer men who are also masculine as well, or like me, have a balance of that. And we would know this if we low-key educated ourselves about each other's experiences. And the reason why I can get up here and talk with such validity, because unlike some of these red pill spaces, I've been on the side of religion and Christianity. Grew up in it, indoctrinated in it. Father was a deacon, all this stuff, heavy in it. And I saw how they treated queer people, even when I didn't even know what queerness really was. At least in a healthy way. So again, we speak from experience, because we were part of, shout out to YB Experience. We were part of that experience, and we survived that experience, and now we're just sharing our recounts of those experiences, which is making the church to do one thing that the church is not supposed to do, because it's appointed by God, which is be held accountable. Because again, show me the excessive amount of queer people out in the streets condemning orders to Christian people. Excuse me. Where are the queer people whooping the Christians' asses? Where they going into the churches and blowing shit up? Oh, but we just read about somebody who's anti-queer trying to blow up an affirming church in Ohio. Anyway, let's continue with the video.
First of all, we need to cut that out. You a man, why is it that the men start to want to look like the women? Why you gotta braid your hair up now? Cornrows all up here and you got a pony. What's up with all of this? And then you tell me that you're not conforming to this world? What else is conformity? We need to stand up. If you don't respect your house, respect God's house. Don't come up in there like that. Don't come in up here like that. You be what God has called you to be. You be what God has called you to be. And when you stand before God, he ain't gonna call you no he, she. Only thing he gonna say to you is, depart from me, he, she.
What? He not gonna see he, she. Well, you're right about God not seeing he, she, because God gonna see it for what it truly is, spirit. That is above all this other man-made shit. That even the individuals who subscribe to it struggle to uphold their own damn life. Wow. But yet the gays are making this up. The gays are just making it. We're the mentally ill ones who are trying to take over the lives of everybody and indoctrinate everybody. Meanwhile, the true reality come out. A lot of y'all Christians struggling in y'all faith. And just like BMU said, oh, let's not nitpick just the main ones. Oh, no. A sin is 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 a sin. There's no sin greater than the other. And I think the only sin that is abominable or blasphemous is sin against the Holy Spirit, which I interpret as sin against the awareness that no matter what society says outside of you, you are always connected. There's nothing that you can do that can separate you from that. What can separate you from this connection is the illusion that you're disconnected because you're queer, because you're trans. In a lot of cases, especially back in the day, for you black motherfuckers, when you was black. And this is the time to find out who you are first before you try to contribute to community and humanity. Didn't it ask for you to work out your own soul salvation first? Well, Bubs, you taking everything out of context. The Bible is meant to help whoever it helps in helping them understand life in a better way. And it may not be in a way that you understand, because the Spirit works in mysterious ways. And y'all sit up here and argue against the mysterious ways. Meanwhile, y'all struggle to manifest the objective, mysterious ways in the Bible. If y'all walking in that power, you should have the ability, you should have the authority to manifest all the miraculous things that Christ did, because Christ even said that you can do that.
You can't do that. He didn't make no mistake. He know what he made. You either, and don't get mad at me, stop reading the Bible. And then another thing, if you don't want to do the Bible, stop quoting the Bible. Stop picking scriptures out that you want to fit your situation.
Then if that's the case, stop using the Bible against those people, because again, a Bible is a book that anyone can read. Anyone can educate themselves. This is the information age to where you don't have to be ignorant. And again, we understand that the church is made up of community. The church is made up of the world. The world goes to church. The fuck? A lot of the queer phobia that queer people experience is because of religious perspectives. Even Mr. Bennett said it himself in reference to the whole Christian nationalism and how Jesus Christ, according to the narrative, was arguing with religious leaders who were speaking like how she's speaking, creating division within the body of Christ. Creating true, genuine, authentic, ignorant, and fear-based division within the body of Christ. And this is where it becomes dangerous for queer people, because Christianity has taught Christians that the suppression of queer people is a part of your damn destiny. That if you fail to do this, you are compromising your salvation. And if motherfuckers were to follow the law like they said it would, then Christ would have never interceded for anybody during their time of need. When the woman was getting stoned, if they were to follow the law, he should have grabbed the rock and was the first one to throw it, because that's what the law said. Oh, but he also said to go forth and to not sin anymore. Yeah, because someone actually stood up for her. It'll actually make her think about her life now. But if he were going by the actual law, as it was the law of the land at the time, she was supposed to be stoned to death. Even when Christ is on the cross with the two offenders next to him, that nobody pulled a January 6th insurrection on Calvary to get their beloved Savior off the cross. He still offers salvation to the other people that the world had already condemned, and the religious world at that. Because the cross is a symbol of death. It is a symbol of torture. Christianity just found a way to romanticize that. But can humanity do that? When they're at their lowest, would they still offer salvation and love to other people, even though they got their own shit going on? And the only way you'll ever be able to do that is if you learn to love yourself and get to a place of overflow. And if they actually got to a place of overflow, then maybe the ex-queer people would probably be ex-queer. Because a lot of them still struggle with a desire. And I ain't saying where is God's power. What I'm saying is, where is y'all awareness of God's power? And y'all can start with Donnie McClurkin first and help him manifest the family that he just recently accepted that he'll never be able to have, even though he said that he is free.
Stop picking out scriptures to fit. Now, when you get to Romans 1st chapter, you just skip all of that. When you go back to Deuteronomy and Genesis, you just skip all of that. But you want to pick up scriptures like, I am the righteousness of God in Christ Jesus. No, you're righteous with Christ Jesus if you live right. A lot of old folks gonna give an account for how you encouraging these men and women. Now, again, we want young people to follow our footsteps. We want that. But we need to teach you how to follow it right. When we were coming up, you know what? I'm sorry, y'all. When we were coming up, we didn't have a lot of homosexuals like they have today. We didn't have a lot of that. Because them old folks they just wasn't putting up with it. You come in the house, they would tell those young men, and if they saw some, as Mother Price says, some NutraSweet in them, they make you get it out of you. They say, straighten that walk up. You would start like this, and you straighten it up, straighten it up. Straighten it up, Told the women, you stop acting mannish. They called us man. You stop being mannish. They taught you how to respect yourself as a woman. Respect yourself as a man. I wish if my brother would have came home, one of my brothers talking about, Mom, I need to tell you I'm going to come out the closet. I'm gay. You know, my mother, she got a belt and whoop that spirit out of you. We got a whooping for that. And do you know, and when she got through whooping you, do you know it's the way till your voice went from high to low? When them old folks got done with you, you might have come in there. I think that I'm having something coming on out. When they got through beating you, said, your mother, I'm straight now. I got that. It's gonna be that. It's now I'm being comical, but I'm telling you the truth. And you old folks that's teaching these young people that, you know I'm telling the truth.
I want you to understand that even if you quote unquote beat it out of them, it won't be really beaten out of them. If anything, it'll just trigger a survival response for those that allow that to happen, mind you. When she said we don't see sissies like that or at large back in my days, because back in my day, we forced the motherfuckers in the closet to where, again, when you saw them, so much to the point that you came up with a name for it. So obviously the awareness was there. That y'all were quick in quote unquote correcting that, even though you didn't really correct it. All you did was create another form of trauma for that person. And be able to say the Bible sanctioned that. What do you think that does to y'all children when y'all do that, especially for children at a young age who come to the realization that they are queer and the fear that comes with that? To the point now that the parent will respond in such a ferocious way out of fear. Stop cherry picking the Bible. Meanwhile, y'all cherry picking the Bible to find the cardinal sins. We ain't adulterers. We ain't this. No, call everything out. Which once again, if you call it all out, that means that Miss Homegirl right here gonna have to sit down and not speak. And if she speaks to the Father by herself in private. Let's continue.
You would find somebody like that every now and then, you would find. But my goodness, they popping up all everywhere you turn. I'm not saying don't pray for them. Yeah, you should pray for them. But still, right is right. I don't care if they in my family, in your family, or anybody's family. It's still wrong. And you should, now it's one thing if you let them stay in the world, amen, long enough, maybe we can get them back on this side. But when you start accepting them in the house of God and telling them that God loves them that way, then you done gone too far. You've gone too far. You should stay in the Word of God, help them people. That young man did not make any sense. You can tell he's been around the church, but the church never got in him. He's been around the church, and then people started encouraging him for what he was doing and never tried to make him get right with God. I promise you, if you take them same young people, put them on a fast, let them get on their knees and begin to see God. God would be unrighteous not to forgive them. But you've already told them that they're right. You told them they're fine. I mean, he was running up there across that stage, And that's why up in here, Immanuel's Temple System Church, here in Las Vegas and in Lansing, if you living like that and living crazy, it's because you want to live that way and you know it. Don't you ever come back here talking about, no, you just want to be off. You want to be off. And listen, another thing, come on in here. I don't care if you used to go here and left and went the other way, you off too, you know better, and you're going to give an account for what you do know. You can run all you want to run, but you're going to...
Got another video. This lady elect. I already told y'all we got a few of them. All right, let's take a listen to this one. Okay, y'all ready? Let's get it.
I mean, my goodness, you men of God up here, you ought to respect God. And
Now this is about, again, putting on your Sunday's best. Putting on your Sunday's best and acting the part. She's going to give an account on why she believes, again, she's a female, so according to the narrative, why should we even listen to what the hell she believed? Where her husband at? And he's supposed to be saying it for her, and she's supposed to be quiet and be first lady. But basically, she's going to give her experience or her interpretation of why God cares about what you wear. Why an entity that is greater and higher than any fucking thing that we can conceptualize in this reality and all the other infinite possible realities. Why do you think that would care about something so small and so minuscule as about how you look? When really this higher thing, this higher being, this higher energy only responds to energy. But let's continue.
if you don't feel like God cares about your outward appearance, you ain't read Exodus. You have not read the book of Exodus and what God required for all of them to do and their dress. And look at all the outward apparel that God required for Aaron and these priests and whatnot. How are you going to tell me God don't care? You know, if these people was in the Old Testament, they'd be dead today. Walking up here and you a man of God, a preacher, in jeans with your knees out, T-shirts on in the house of, and you're reverencing God? And then you got a problem with us dressing up for the Lord? Who else should we dress up for? There's none greater than him. But when you got a man of God, and it's just like he's dressing good, but he preaching good. Now, if he's looking like that and ain't saying nothing, then that's nothing. But you ought to reverence God. But the man come in here on his face. How do you know? Because I live with him. On his face, praying for God to give him a word, not just for him, but for you. To have a word in these last and evil days, and you don't respect that? The word is supposed to find you. No, so we thank God. If basketball people team can have a uniform, if the baseball people can have a uniform, football people have a uniform, McDonald's, you ought to be dressed when you come to the house of God. You ought to respect God that much. You ought to respect him enough to put on.
But at the same time, girl, the people who are football players and work at McDonald's and stuff, they dress that way because they getting paid to be dressed that way. So is the church actually going to start doing what the church is supposed to be and do, which is to give back to the community? I'm pretty sure if you were to do that, people probably wouldn't mind wearing a uniform to church, especially if you're actually helping them in their own actual life and not just give them a feel-good word that they can't even apply anywhere in their damn life. And if so, I have to relive and recount the experiences of other people having their encounter with the divine. Meanwhile, I'm struggling to have my own.
Now, if you'll ever put it on for me, that's fine. But you ought to respect God more than that. Coming in here, and I'm going to my knees. And you know what? Going to my knees and going to my... And then some of you all, listen to First Lady, Prophetess Owens. I'm trying to help. Some of y'all listen. Tweet. You are too old. You putting on skinny jeans don't make you young. You still old. You're supposed to be a better example than that. You, yes. Old folks. Old as you are trying to wear skinny jeans.
Well, don't be mad that there are some people who are older who still have their high school shape. Meanwhile, there are some who are 3 times their high school shape in weight. There are some people who are slim who can wear slim fit pants because it fits their body. We're not talking about tight as fuck like y'all did back in the 60s and 70s when y'all had the damn dick print and the ball print on the side of these high water ass pants with these platform boots.
I know you want folks to see all them wrinkles and up in your thing. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. Now, and if you got a problem with it, you just need to get saved. Don't look at me now. Don't be around here trying to work it out. That's not cute. Now, the young folks, Paul said, when I was young, what? I thought as a child, understood as a child. There's some things you do that are child. But when you get older, you're supposed to be more mature. You should be a more mature person than to think like that. Oh, don't get mad at me when I'm telling you the truth. I just never seen the likes of it like this. So, and don't tell me, well, it doesn't matter with the outward appearance as long as the inside is right. No, it is not. I promise you. A lot of these men dressing like that, you're not right on the outside because something wrong on the inside. No, I don't believe that. I believe there's something wrong on the inside for you to want to look like that on the outside. You know, the Bible in Exodus was so specific till God told them, even when he anointed Aaron and his sons, the incense and the perfume that was made for them, God said nobody else could ever use that. You couldn't even duplicate it. It was supposed to be so holy and so sacred that God said anybody that took this for granted and you went and took this same incense and anointed and poured it on something or anybody else, God said you would die for it. You sit up here, Aaron and them could not even walk into God's sanctuary any kind of way. They had to be dressed in holy apparel. They had to be clean. We don't hear much of that. I said they had to be clean. Had to make atonement when they walk. But you sitting up here walking in any kind of way and men of God using the word, hey dog, what? No, you too old for that. You need to set a better example. You don't call that. You should be calling them young men sons. And you should be saying daughters, not dog. Hey, yo, what's up? No, we in the house of God. You ain't on the streets. You could not have done that. And if God is the same yesterday, today, and forevermore, what makes you think you can change? What makes you think you can change God's design?
And last, and definitely not least, we have one more video of Miss Lady Owens, okay? And her sharing her perspective, okay? Now, again, if people want to do this in their churches, they have every right. They have the right, the freedom of religion. I don't give a damn if you do it in the church. That's cool. That's your own business. I don't have to come into the church. But when you take that ideology and try to place it on queer people outside of church is when it becomes an issue and a problem. Y'all already believe that queer people are evil and demonic and all this other type of stuff, anti-life, anti-family, anti-God, anti-Christ, all these things. You have this perspective about queer people. All we're saying is, if that is the case, you now have to objectively prove it outside of the Bible. Just like y'all gonna have to give accounts, we're talking about giving accounts, and be accountable for, again, the dark ages of the church. Because the same rhetoric is being told about, oh, these people are evil and there's something inside of you that is wrong, that you won't fix, for the individuals like myself who knows who I is, who know who I am, that I'm already being labeled, and people like me are already being labeled as evil and demonic, so that when the fucking reckoning comes, there won't be any real guilt and shame, because these people are supposed to die anyway. Anyway, let's continue with the last video.
Make it straight. Now listen, people of God, this is a brand new year. If you've been slipping, tipping, dipping, and know you ain't been living right, and God's been merciful to you in 2023, you need to cut that out. Make up your mind to stop trying to be what God don't want you to be. Wait. You all better stop this playing with God, and I'm talking to somebody. You can't be both places. Either you're going to be saved. I'm not talking about saved when you're in the house of God. I'm talking about saved when you live here. When you leave here, you're supposed to be saved. Oh, let me tell you something. Saved folks don't have no business being everywhere. Some of y'all in places you ain't got no business being there. You don't have no, I don't care. Well, I'm just trying to be kind to everyone. That ain't helping people. When you say folks don't go to the club. You ain't got no business being in no. I'm gonna tell you the truth right here. Stop that.
But where was Christ at? Because Christ sure wasn't dwelling in temples made by man. So where was he at? He wasn't at the revivals that y'all was hosting, so where was he at? And we know where he at and where he was and where he has been if we actually look at it. I guess, no shade, this is what happens when I guess women are allowed to preach. They simply just regurgitate what their husband told them, but just in a Cliff Note version.
How can these people want to be saved and they living better than you? At least they ain't hypocrites. Them folks in the club ain't professing to be Christian. You running with unsaved people and they ain't got saved, that's your fault. How can your best friend be somebody that don't love Jesus? Then you want to come back to the house of God and shout, no, sit down. Sit down and get right. God is tired of this and I'm tired of it. It's a shame the church is as weak as it is. You're weak as water. Sitting up there singing all kind of songs. How dare you, amen, sit up here on the Lord. The Lord bless you to see another year. New Year's Eve, we should have been praising God and thanking God. It ain't time to bring no secular people in here to praise God for me. These people want to be saved. They come to the house of God trying to get some help. They come in here and they see nothing but in the world what they see in the church. And then you boasting about it. Oh, look at me playing my secular music. I'm doing secular day, and they supposed to like it. Sitting up here, amen, God's going to get you for that. If you don't want to be saved, just move on out. Say, I'm not ready to be saved now. Stop hindering people. I feel like calling some names. You bold enough to put that foolishness out on the internet? And another thing, I don't care, I'm just going to say, listen, let me tell you something. If you sitting up there trying to do the, foolishness, if you ever try to do some twerk with me, I will slap you in your face. You don't sit up there and put up with that. I'm going to say it. You're not saved. You're not saved. And I'm going to tell you the truth. No, y'all go back because I'm getting a whooping. I'm not trying to get, no. That is not cute and is not funny. I'm a saved Holy Ghost woman. You don't come up here to me with that mess. You respect me if you don't respect yourself. Your wife should have told you off when you got home. You women supposed to be saved women. You ain't helping these men. You should have told him off when he got home. You don't put up with that mess. Come on, that's the problem without you people. The saints that got so intertwined with the world, to the world don't even respect you anymore. You got people on the internet not saved telling the church how you need to start living right. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous.
Let me get to y'all comments. I'm glad this live is under 2 hours. Thank you. Let me get y'all comments real quick. Deshaun says, well, let me go up a little bit more. Let's see. Give me 1 second. Oh, Black Man and Filter said that was to happen. He was to get into a fight with any of those women. He would beat those women's asses. Interesting. Deshaun says, cause those gays that are ex-gay, they did conversion therapy since the 70s, came out crying, ruining other gay people's lives just to get money, knowing that they was gay all along and they were ex-gay. So yes, BMU, if you're still here, I would love for you. Well, first of all, before I come on your platform and talk to y'all again, I already told y'all what needs to happen. You need to do a live addressing Little RT, and I thought that was going to happen last Tuesday, but I mean, funny for me to think that, you know. But once you do that live, I also would like for you to go on Netflix, and I think it's still on Netflix. It's called Pray Away. And I will also ask you to please ask Kevin, the white queen, who is no longer trans anymore, but still a queen. I would like for you to please, send him the link or ask him to watch that video, and I would love to hear his perspective on that. Because if the gay people are going to hell in that short future, well, I want the ex-gay people to know that you're going to a form of hell as well, which means going back into the closet. So welcome depression back, welcome self-loathing back, welcome performative actions again back, welcome the false life again. Because in this world, it seems like in order for you to walk in your truth, it's going to cost you your life. But isn't that why Christ offered his life? Because again, you can't take something that I've already given. I knew before this happened. Interesting. Deshaun also says, oh yeah, to mention about intersex people. Where's it at? Intersex people. What about them? Straight people? What about intersex people? They are born with both parts, and I call them the one being both genders. Ron also says it's insulting, discriminating, and basically, let me just look at the comments like this, because this will be much better for me to do. Excuse me, I'm trying to find it. Where's we at? Because y'all was commenting down. Where was we at? Sorry, y'all. I'm trying to find it. Lord. Ron says, it's funny how she claimed the church isn't what she listed, and those activities happen in and outside the church irregularly. Ron says the black church especially is saturated with homosexuals. If it wasn't for them, who would run the choir, the church organizing, and the congregation? That's what I'm saying. For the silent sissies of the pew, I wonder what would happen if they were to walk away, and not just walk away, take their gay ass dollars with them. I wonder if the church would actually evolve. We sure saw what queerness done in a healthy way did to Kim Burrell's life and her weight. She was actually able to drop the fupa. Deshaun says, but the thing is, straight people say these gays don't need to be in our church. They should have their own church, and when they do, they criticize them for having their own church. When straight people say you used to have your own business and have your own foods and stuff like that, they're criticized for having just that. That gay people make their own brand and messed up their money just because of religious standpoints on what they saw. Stevie says, the church should be a place of love and solace, and now the black church has become harmful to queer people for decades, been harmful for decades. Enough is enough at this point, for real. Deshaun says, but she's saying, I'm not here to say you're wonderful, but the Bible says, judge the, I'm just reading how it's written, night. This doesn't make any sense. We might as well do away with the Bible. Harold says, what the fuck? Is she telling that to every hetero motherfucker who doing more sinning than all the gays put together? You got straight folk who out here stealing, raping, molesting, unaliving folk all day and night. Ron says Jesus supposedly never shamed people. In fact, he associated with everyone. If he were alive today, the soul Christians of today wouldn't like him. And I mean, if you actually look at the Bible, the book, they actually called Christ a demon. Because again, he was breaking all type of rules. He wasn't following the rule book. He didn't have a book to follow. He was the living word. Which means that while y'all sitting down here memorizing this shit to sound good, I'm actually applying the principles and ethics of it. And it's so much that you can expound on, but if you want to tap into that Christ narrative, all you have to do is two things. Love the Lord your God with all your heart, mind, body, spirit, soul, all of who you are, the totality, which means loving yourself and all versions of yourself. And to do that same awareness of love you have for yourself, apply that to other people. Once you do those two things, then you can start tapping into other things that benefit you and society. You can start tapping into gifts and talents, but you are not aware of those gifts and talents, and you become deliberate in the use of them. But organized religion does not teach us that. It teaches us to be weak. It teaches us to be codependent in an unhealthy way to religion, which has now become a business. This is not about the business of saving souls. This is a business about the big bucks. Because even though Miss Owens saying that she don't care about the money, the more she grows in popularity and fame, the more things she'll be able to buy. Because again, she had on a Chanel brand, and that's expensive. Unless this was a Chanel belt that you got from Marshall's or from TJ Maxx, where it's not a authentic one. Just very interesting. Harold says, so concerned about folks' sexuality to the point where these holier than thou folk will turn a blind eye to whole crimes being committed under their nose, which Stevie agrees. Deshaun says, wait a minute, but I thought straight people said that men have femininity in them, and that's okay. What the hell is going on here? This is confusion. Harold says, meanwhile, I'm sure a sissy laid down that Nicki Minaj, tell you this once, you the illest bang she got sitting on her forehead. I wouldn't know anything of the sort. Stevie says, and main one's husbands be sleeping with the whole congregation. Ron says, them and subjecting themselves in the name of the Lord. Get the fuck out of here. Black Man jumps in and says, all the while she got a wig on. So I guess he kind of agreed with us a little bit on that aspect. Yeah, she's over here being a shame to the church because, again, a woman speaking or preaching in a church brings shame. That's what it said in the book. With that wig on, multiple wigs of that. Prophet says, so just any hateful demon can be a church preacher. Harold says, well, according to your word, i.e. the Bible, you shouldn't even be in the pulpit speaking, being that you're a woman. I already said that. Ron says wig. Harold says, stiff ass Mulan wig. Okay, now. Spicy says, the irony is I haven't heard a let's open up our Bibles and turn to the book of yet. Oh, well, again, I guess it's what happens when women preach. Leave it to the men's. Spicy also says she sounds low-key jealous the guy had better hair and clothes than her. Wow. Chief Soul Survivor said, that all you got type of women. Love you, Bubs. Thank you. Love you too. Harold says, all the black men who wore cornrows all throughout the 2000s, and she think all of the men wanted to be a girl. Hell yeah, I guess motherfucking Tyrese, I'm not Tyrese, but nigga name, girl. I don't wanna live, Betty. Trey Songz ass girl, and I guess in that aspect she right. Ron says, and if God created everything, then why do Christians think gays aren't part of his creation? Harold says, so I guess the men who wore cornrows, afros, locks, and everything else want to be a woman according to her. Deshaun said, and if God made mistakes, how did he made a gender person with one gender that is a boy and a girl and one body with both parts make that make sense? And you wonder why of what she's saying right now is what these men was doing behind closed doors, were sleeping with other men while they had wives. That's the story right there, she said back in the day. Harold says, oh, there are plenty of queer folks amongst the silent and boomer generations. Please note, hell yeah, if I get the permission, I'm going to show y'all a candlelight visual of older queer people who are in their 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, who are still here, who survived, unlike their other peers, unfortunately. They're just miserable individuals who have lived repressed lives and forced into marriages they were and are miserable in, and no shade, statistically speaking, for a lot of queer people who end up becoming seniors and they're single, they end up a lot of times having to go back into the closet. Deshaun says, I just told you about a gay person that told a story about his father forcing him to have sex with a prostitute at 10 years old, an older prostitute at that. He was gay. Donna B say, fast ass tail of girl. Deshaun says, now this gay person have to figure out how to be himself. And it's been a long time. He's still working on that trauma to this day. I'm seeing a lot of stories of women getting unalived because a woman found out about a man sleeping with a man that was her boyfriend, and her boyfriend unalived her so no one will find out about him. Now I understand, and a lot of women are getting unalived because of women like her. That's preaching up there like that. That's the reason why a lot of women that's dating men, they're guessing who's gay. Where Donna B responds and says, interesting, it was acceptable for boys engaging in sex. It says game, G-A-M. Well, he not gay, but the girls must save themselves from marriage. Wow. Harold says, for her to be anointed, she has very limited view of the reality of the world around her. Spicy says, and so is this whole sermon is just her being mean about a nice looking guest pastor? Ron says, now this is the love they spread to their congregation. Spicy says, according to Exodus, these poly blends are not of God. And we talking about the outfit and the wig. Because I gotta believe the wig is not 100% girl. There's gotta be some sort of cackle-on in there. Prophet says, nah, I don't agree with this one now. This is what Prophet said. No, shout out to him. I need one of God's strongest warriors to put the heavenly paws on this lady. Nah, I don't want her to get hurt. That's just me. She reminds me of Eddie character in Vampire in Brooklyn when he was possessed as the preacher, not as a preacher. Hell is good. Hell is good. Hell is good. I'm screaming. Spicy said, didn't she just say earlier that when the hoes and strippers come in, it's come as you are? We are here to help people as Christians. Not y'all saying she possibly could be related to Candace Owens, and if so, they need to go together in ministry. Harold says, yet she's judging these same hoes and strippers with her self-righteous, pompous attitude. Black Men Filter said the presidential race was more important. What do you mean? As far as this presidential race was more important? And let me address Black Men Unfiltered. Black man, again, I've been on y'all platform twice. Okay? Twice on there. I already told y'all, if you trying to have a conversation on your platform again with BubzDaGawd over there, I already told y'all what y'all need to do. Y'all need to do this live on Lil RT. Because now it's time for y'all to start proving yourselves about y'all accountability. Because there's been times on my channel, if you look for it, where I've held other queer people accountable. It ain't just because you queer, all things go. But there is a fear-based narrative that's being placed on queer people at large. Y'all have all the smoke for the queer people, but y'all don't have no smoke for the hetero stuff. So until you do that, I will not be on your platform. Now, you asked me to drop the link. What I could do is I can create a live later on this week where you can come over on my platform and, like you said, me and you can have the conversation without any other voices around, which I highly doubt will be a conversation. Because in order to have a conversation, there has to be emotional and mental awareness, and also the ability to comprehend what is being stated to you. I don't understand us having a conversation as if though you're going to say anything new because you had two times to get it out. If the conversation is going to be simply about the Bible, then that's going to be a very messy one, because again, I know the Bible too. But because I'm queer, it's going to be assumed that I don't have any sort of moral compass or code when it comes down to it, when all I actually did was just do what y'all do. I just memorized it and studied to show thyself approved, which is why that same book was used to justify slavery. See, y'all not ready to have the real ass conversations for real. Because if y'all said something that was actually fruitful and life-giving, it was life-changing to change a narrative about queerness, y'all would have said it already. And there are more of y'all than there is of me. And whenever you had opportunities for that to happen, i.e. Mandrell, i.e. Taru, i.e. Mr. Bennett, i.e. Dr. Nakumbe, i.e. no shade when we look at it at the highest level of it, looking through the actual fear, Uncle Jeff, when those people kind of give you their perspective that is more objective, more humanistic, y'all fight against it. And you said, what did you say? You said why I didn't do the show on the kid. You got to come to my platform. We teaching. So let's teach. Teach what? If you're trying to teach that I'm wrong for being gay, you're going to fill in that application, because I don't subscribe to what you believe in. Which is why America is the place where you have the freedom of religion. I don't believe in your interpretation of the Bible. I don't believe in the Christian narrative that's been destructive. So if y'all just using it as an opportunity to show out in one of the ways that y'all feel confident in, which is in the Bible, I'm going to make sure that everybody that says that's on the platform is in that motherfucker. Because everybody in it. And this is where it gets dangerous. So, again, for me to come on your platform and speak on your platform and use energy that I will never get back. Because when I'm over there listening to y'all, I'm doing that for research. That's for research purposes. I don't mind doing that because that's what I do. But as far as you having a conversation with me, y'all failed twice. Y'all failed twice. Y'all couldn't accomplish what y'all wanted to accomplish twice. And again, because I've done research on y'all over the years with y'all commentary about queerness, y'all don't say anything new. Oh, all we gonna hear is, well, the Bible said this, and this is what it is about nature, and when a dick and vagina come together, and all this, all these things that we've already had conversations about. And then when we start talking about y'all fears, y'all want to act like y'all fears not there, even though we've justified what the fears were, because y'all don't want to be honest. Y'all don't want to be true. And maybe it's time for y'all to be coming to the queer people's platforms and listening to what the hell they say, because again, what you're saying is nothing new than what we've heard throughout a big part of our lives, because again, a lot of us grew up in the church. So if you want me to have an objective conversation with you on your platform using my voice, I already told y'all what y'all have to do, and y'all almost did it. Which is, y'all gonna have to address the little RT situation that you said was on the books for last Tuesday. But the fag shit was more enticing. Interesting. So until y'all do that live, BubzDaGawd will not be on your platform as far as talking. Now, again, I can create a live in the future, within the next few days if you want, where me and you can come over here and have the conversation that, first of all, won't be thwarted by other individuals who's trying to help a struggling nigga out. And I want you to tell me how you know more about queerness than me. Not only that, show all the proof of what queer people have done to be deemed and worthy as something important that's destroying the black family. And I'm talking about in a way that even in my own individual life, you can pull up. That's factual. That's universal, if you will. That every queer person on the platform can say, well, I can't argue with that. So y'all make the choice. Black men, I already told you what it is, and it's so easy for y'all to do that. I sat up here and did commentary off of y'all lives for hours while y'all were talking multiple times. Even used some of the content y'all had on y'all lives in my video to speak against y'all perspectives because y'all didn't vet it right. Y'all can do this live about Lil RT and it's a young black boy. Because again, I'm putting that responsibility on y'all. Now, as far as you saying 3 people on the panel, me, you, and the moderator, if we were to go on a neutral platform like Mr. Bennett's platform, if he does a live and he's in control of it, I ain't talking about no other nigga in the background. If he in control of it, that's cool. Dr. Nakumbe, that's cool. If it's somebody who is level-headed like that, then I'm cool with it. But again, like I said, on your platform, where you're the God at, I already told you what the qualifications and the stipulations are, and it should be easy. I'm asking you to stand up for other hetero black boys who need help, and you're resisting that because you feel like if you do it, then the fag has power over you. Only thing the fag is asking you to do is to show yourselves accountable and show us what a leader looks like for real. Not some of the leaders that y'all niggas valued and y'all looked up to when y'all was younger. You know, the niggas that would actually go in the neighborhood and actually challenge the motherfuckers in the neighborhood who's causing all type of shit. This is the time for y'all to do that. So until you get up there with your compadres and y'all break down the little RT video and y'all give us the heterosexual perspective, because not only do y'all have questions, the queer community have questions as well. So it's gonna be a two-way street. So until y'all do that, there will be no conversation with me over there. The reason we didn't have the show because of there were bigger shows, Biden, Kamala, and Olympics. Okay, well y'all had the Kamala shit on Friday. And again, you already had some on the books for Tuesday, and the only thing y'all talked about was the Olympics, was y'all interpretation of God being mocked. Because drag people, drag queens, emulated the Last Supper, which other people have done the exact same thing. Even Donald Trump has stuff out that none of y'all haven't smoked for. But again, when it's a queer people, we see what it is. But it's funny, there were bigger shows, but yet y'all didn't want to talk about the one thing that y'all throw up in the queer people face all the time, which is the children. This was about the children. Y'all throw up aborted fetuses and stuff. Well, this is an individual who is going to have very late post-abortion, because unfortunately the route that he going in, objectively speaking, a lot of people don't survive. That was a time for y'all to actually show up and show us what black men look like when it come down to saving black boys. Meanwhile, y'all want to be able to give a Christian viewpoint on Olympics that has nothing to do with Christianity and has everything to do with Greek shit. But anyway, thank y'all for joining me for this live. I'm about to get me something to eat, okay? If you can, please make sure you hit that like button, okay? It helps this channel to grow in the algorithms. We're almost at 1K, all right? If you like the vibe over here on BubzDaGawd on how we think outside the box, no shade. And I'm just talking about me. I ain't talking about nobody, I'm just talking about me. Okay, you can definitely hit that subscribe button and make sure you hit the notification bell as well so that you can stay up to date with all of my lives and my uploaded, edited content. I'm going to ask that you please share this live. If there's something in this live that I said and it just sparked your spirit, whether you agree or disagree, why not give your commentary on it? Why not go ahead and put it on your social media platforms and generate conversation about it? Because this is the time to educate and to learn. And there's a lot that we can learn from each other, but we have to learn from each other. And if you don't understand the experiences of one group of people, you can't teach them about anything about themselves. That's crazy. And if you feel compelled, you can definitely hit that Cash App, which is $BubzDaGawd. Okay, we take everything that jingle and folds and in between. Okay? So with that being said, shout out to Queen Stevie. Shout out to King Deshaun. Shout out to King Harold. Okay, shout out to Queen Spicy. Shout out to, let's see, Queen Donna B. Shout out to King Prophet. We got Ron in the building. Shout out to, there's some Chief Soul Survivor. I believe that's everybody came through. And last but definitely not least, shout out to Black Men Unfiltered, just watching the whole damn live. Come on now, can we give him a round of applause for putting in the work to listen to the whole live? We appreciate it, and we gonna end it on his question. It says, question, is one of the little black boys, but where are the mothers of those girls? So yes, we will address it. Thank you. That's all I'm saying is address it. If you can address the queer mother, queer children and shit, and the queer shit, just address your children too. That's all I'm saying. Just do it across the board. Do it evenly across the board. But I'm just going to see, or we're just going to sit and listen and just see how y'all do it. Because if you're going to talk about the queer shit, talk about the hetero shit first. Y'all the majority. Y'all the leaders. Y'all the ones on the right side, which means that y'all are obligated to show it first. And it's just very interesting to see how that's going to look. But anyway, y'all enjoy the rest of y'all Sunday, and I will see y'all again very soon. Peace.